Now a tour of Baldwin's Book Barn in West Chester, Pennsylvania. We talked with owner Tom Baldwin about the history and operations of the store and took a look at some of the rare books that they offer for sale.
Tom Baldwin, where are we?
We're right outside of West Chester, Pennsylvania, in East Bradford Township in the county of Chester, also known as Andrew Wyeth World.
And what is Baldwin's bookstore? Baldwin's Book Barn, excuse me.
Well, it's a barn and it's a store. It was previously a dairy barn. It was built in 1822 by the Darlington family, and my father bought it in 1946 after he was discharged from the Navy, the Second World War. And I was brought up here as a boy, and it was a real barn. I mean, this one side was very rough, and he didn't have a lot of money at the time. And there was 52 acres originally with the book barn. And he had been in the business before he went in the Navy. He started in 1934 in Wilmington, Delaware. And then he was down the road at the old mill called Strode's Mill, and then he bought this, and it's been an adventure ever since.
What did you learn about books as a kid?
Well, the first thing I learned was how to handle a book. It was very important. How to pack a book, how to pack it so the spines are protected, so the book wouldn't be collapse. How to open a book, handle a book like you're handling a child.
And what kinds of books do you have here?
Well, we're a generalist. We have over 200 subjects, actually more than that, but really specified subjects. We have over 300,000 books open to the public. Now I have a warehouse full in Marshallton, which is a little village near here, and I can't even get to it. There's 150,000 books in there that we use just as another place for books. Well, there's a story if you have a bookstore, it's 1,000 square feet, it's full, and if you have a bookstore, it's 10,000 square feet, it's full. I mean, I've never been in a bookstore that wasn't full. You don't see empty shelves. It's incredible.
When did you come back here to run this book barn?
I came back in 1983.
Why?
My father was ill, and my mother asked me to. He had became very ill, and he was having a lot of problems, and my mother was worried, and I had just sold a business. I was in other businesses. That's one of my fortunate things is that I know what the real world is like. In the book business, you get very focused, and you don't, but I was out there, and I do know a little bit about business, and it just made a really nice combination when I took over. So we never took credit cards. We started taking credit cards. And my father one day, he didn't like it. He took the whole machine, threw it in the trash. He said, we don't take credit cards here. But eventually, now 60% of my sales are on credit cards. So, I mean, just little things like that, and being organized. And I always said, just keep it simple. And we buy books, we price books, and we put them on the shelf so people can find them. If you do those three things, and you have a nice location, you can be a great success in the book business.
Tell us about this location.
The demographics here are wonderful because this is where the books are to buy. That's number one. My father always said this, and I certainly agree, is that a lot of the great libraries came from this area. And so if you have the supply, and you always have the demand, it's the perfect place in the world. I mean, that's...
Is it a long way to come for customers? Where do you get your customers?
It's very interesting. You could look at we have 50 cars in the parking lot, and we have 30 different states represented. And a lot of them are rental cars. People flying in from overseas come here. A lot of dealers come here and buy books from us also, not just the general public. I would say 40% of our sales are to other dealers, because we are a generalist. If you're a specialist on the Civil War, you tend just to buy Civil War books. Well, we buy Civil War books, and we get a lot of very nice things, but we don't price them quite as high, and we're not specialized. I mean, a specialist usually gets the top dollar, so we give a dealer discount of 20%, and it makes it very advantageous for other dealers to come here. This is a wonderful place to come and visit. I mean, it's always an event. People tell me, well, I say, why do you like coming here? It's because it's an event. They can go. We give them coffee, and we don't charge for it. And especially if you buy a lot of books, we do that. We have picnic tables. People come here and picnic, and there's 6 acres. We have lots of parking, and we just try to make people feel at home.
When are you open?
We're open every day of the year except for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And our hours are 9 to 9 during the week and 10 to 5 in the weekend.
Now, coming here, we had to go through quite a few winding roads.
Yes.
How do you find this place?
Well, that's typical of Chester County. There's a lot of winding roads here. But we're on Route 52/100, 1 mile south of Westchester, Pennsylvania. And it's also known as Lenape Road. But it's the center of the Brandywine Valley. It really is.
You mentioned earlier about the history of this area. How does the history of this area fit in with the history of this book barn?
Well, the Battle of the Brandywine, they marched right past the barn to go to battle. A lot of our founders, William Penn was very active in this area. A number of famous people, and I'm actually descended from one of the signers of the Declaration.
Which one?
Mr. Morton. My name is Thomas Morton Baldwin. I'm named after him, John Morton. And so we go back. My family immigrated into this country in 1683 through Chester, which was the first port where we bought a lot of books.
So you go back a long way.
Yes.
Your most famous customer?
We have a number of famous customers. Well, Mr. Andrew Wyeth he comes here quite often, and we just love him, and I've known him almost all my life.
Did I see one of his paintings back here?
Yes, and the bit large painting is Frank Schoonover, who was one of the Brandywine School under Howard Pyle. It's a wonderful painting. But one of the great stories is my father used to deal with N.C. Wyeth, and N.C. Wyeth would try to pay my father in paintings rather than money. My father would say, I don't want that damn painting. I want that. I need that $100. He wouldn't take the paintings. Boy, what a mistake.
You must have. You didn't introduce us to Pip before.
This is Pip.
Pip's sleeping.
Pip is sleeping. He's a wonderful Jack Russell Terrier who replaced my dear Crunch, who was with me for 16 years, that died last year. And he's finally really bonding with me. It took a while. And if you come to the book barn, you'll see Pip around.
Thanks very much.
It's my pleasure.
We're in a room called the Rare Book Room. What's here?
Right. What's here? Well,
Yes, first one you're going to show us. What is this?
this is a 17th century Blau Atlas, and it's considered one of the finest atlases that has been done.
Why?
Why? Because of the clarity of the detail of the maps, because of its cartographic significance at the time. Those are the primary factors.
Where did you find this book?
Where did I find this book? This book was found from another dealer.
About rare books that you like?
Everything.